Hello friend, welcome! If you are new to this channel, my name is Amanda Willis and I empower families to wellness authentically through biblically rooted principles. Today is one of our Girl Talk episodes. You guys, I had such a great response and so much good feedback from the previous Girl Talk episodes I've done. One on embracing your cycle, one's the Thanks Period underwear review. And one of the questions that I have gotten a lot is what to do about really painful cycles. So I can't tell you how many people messaged me and commented either for themselves or for friends of theirs. So I'm going to give you in this video 3 tips. I have a couple more tips for immediate relief, and I've actually created a PDF download for you guys. So I'm going to link that below in the comments, and it's a free PDF download. You can get all of my tips for getting relief immediately, quickly, and naturally with your periods and helping to ease cramps and just the fatigue and all of the things, right? All of the things. And so this video and that PDF are focused on things you can do immediately. However, the immediate symptoms of severe cramps and any sort of severe symptoms, obviously you're going to have some symptoms, but the severe symptoms come from hormonal imbalances and of something being not right in your body. So they're actually a symptom of something else. And so I will be doing a follow-up video probably within the next few weeks on some of the long-term things that you can do to really help balance out your cycles, and things that I have found that have been really helpful, because I understand, I get it. I used to have really painful periods too. I would be flat on my back and curled up on the couch, not wanting to do anything all day. Now, I still like to curl up on the couch, but that's because I like to embrace my cycle now. It's not from being in pain. My symptoms are now super, super, super mild most months. A lot of times I don't even know that my period's coming unless I'm paying attention to it. I'm tracking a lot now, so I know more now, but there's been several months recently where it kind of snuck up on me because I was only just a little bit fatigued, and that was about it. No cramps or anything. So I know if you are dealing with cramps right now, you're like, awesome for you. Thanks. Please just give us the information. So let's dive in and let me share some of my tips that helped me when I was cramping really badly, and that I know have helped a lot of other people. And then if you're dealing with those cramps, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so that you get notified every time a new video goes live, and you don't miss the video upcoming on how to really kind of cultivate healthy hormones, so that it's probably going to end up being more than one video, honestly, because there's a lot of information and a lot of things to do to help. We're women, we're complicated, including our hormones. But the great news is they're not as unpredictable as you think. They're actually very predictable and cycle very regularly. So let's dive in to my top 3 tips. Ready? Here we go. All right, tip number 1 is teas. Now, my favorite tea to help with cramping, I used to have to take, fun fact is, well, right now we have no over-the-counter medicines in our home. We don't keep Tylenol, we don't keep Advil, we don't keep anything like that in our home. We don't need them. We have a lot of natural things that we do instead that have completely replaced our medicine cabinet. Now, I will say the very last thing I got rid of out of my medicine cabinet was Midol, because it was the only thing that helped my cramps for the longest time, until I found Traditional Medicinals tea. Now, one of their the tea that I used to use is no longer. The tea that's the closest that I think will bring you the same results is the Healthy Cycle tea. So they used to have one that was menstrual, I don't remember what it was called, menstrual something or another. And they don't have that one anymore, but they have one called Healthy Cycle, and it's designed for the same thing, and it has the same herbs in it. So it should do the same thing for you. get yourself some of the healthy cycle tea and or straight raspberry leaf. The raspberry leaf tea, I drink that every day. That's one of the long-term things that I do, but raspberry leaf is super helpful for toning the uterus, helping to ease cramps. But the healthy cycle one has raspberry leaf in it, and then it's also combined with some nettle leaf as well. So that's gonna help with your hormones as your estrogen is completely tanked and at the lowest that it is. Sometimes it tanks a little too fast and a little too much, and we need a little bit of support to round it back out because we have too many synthetic estrogens in our body, and that kind of throws off our actual real estrogen balance. So the nettle is super helpful for supporting healthy estrogen levels, and so is the red raspberry leaf's gonna help, just like I said, tone the uterus and help with cramps a lot. The only downside I would say with that is it takes about 15 minutes to kick in after you've taken 15 minutes to brew the tea. So what I started doing when I was cramping really bad is I just knew that I was gonna have cramps. And so I just regularly drank like 3 to 4 cups of that a day during my cycle. And if you're tracking your cycle, maybe start the day before you're supposed to start or right around that time as a preventative measure to see if that helps you a little bit more. All right, so that's number 1. Number 2 is going to be castor oil packs and or a hot water bottle. Now, many of you may be using heating pads already. However, a heating pad emits a lot of EMF, electromagnetic frequency, which can really change the cellular structure in your body. There's not quite enough research as to exactly long-term what it does, but there have been some short-term studies that show that too many EMFs can be harmful for your body, and they can cause all sorts of extra things to go off. And so you don't want to upset your hormonal balance any more than it's already trying to balance itself out, right? And so I recommend using a hot water bottle that you can just put not boiling water, hot water. Let it boil, let it cool for a few minutes first before you put it in there, and then use that. Place it right over. The weight of that's going to be whether it's on your stomach or your back, whichever you cramp. I always cramped more in my back, so that was a little trickier. I would have loved to have had a hot water bottle when I was dealing with that, because the weight of it would have felt so much better. I always felt like I had to pull the heating pad close to my body and like tie it to me, because I wanted that constant heat, but the weight, the compression felt really good too. So the compression of the hot water bottle is going to feel well, whether you put it on your stomach or your back as well. And then the castor oil packs you could do in conjunction with a hot water bottle if you wanted to. I actually have yet to do a full castor oil pack with the flannel and the things. There's plenty of information out there as to how to do castor oil packs well. Dr. Lindsay Elmore has some wonderful information. I would just search Dr. Lindsay Elmore castor oil packs and she walks you through how to do those. Well, I have yet to do, like I said, the full one with the flannel and everything. Usually what I do is I just take castor oil and I rub it from one side of my torso to the other, and then put on a shirt, an old shirt because it's going to get oily, and put a hot water bottle on top of it. That's all you would need to do. It would get you a little extra relief with the castor oil if you want to kind of layer those two with the hot water bottle. Tip number 3 is going to sound like it doesn't do a lot, but I will tell you this made the biggest difference for me. And that is to decrease your sugar and caffeine intake. Now, I know Midol has caffeine in it, and that can kick in. Part of the reason is that helps painkillers to kick in faster. That's where the caffeine becomes beneficial if you're using over-the-counter stuff. However, if you're doing the natural approach to this, I will tell you caffeine constricts your muscles. And I notice a huge difference if I drink too much coffee. even now, I notice I'll start cramping more if I'm drinking a lot of coffee and consuming a lot of caffeine. So maybe a little bit of decaf, mix it in there if you have a tendency to drink a lot of coffee that day, or try and do some tea instead of the coffee. See if you can balance that out a little bit. Really lower your caffeine intake, lower your sugar content, lower your sugar intake, especially refined sugars. So natural sugars like honey and molasses and brown sugar, those that aren't super refined, those your body can handle a little bit better. So if you want to put honey in your tea, that should be fine. But straight up sugar, especially if you're putting sugar in your coffee, that would be one big step that would probably help a whole lot, is not to do that. So if you have a tendency to not drink coffee without sugar, then maybe switch to tea and honey for your cycle and see how that helps. Don't take my word for it, just try it and then come back and let me know, because I want to know which of these 3 things helped you the most. So let me know that in the comments below. Share this video if you think it would be helpful for one of your friends. And don't forget, I have a PDF linked below with a few more tips for you. I said 5. It's a few more than 5. It says 5 in the title. However, it's more than 5 tips. I will go ahead and give you a hint. Many of you know essential oils are my jam. So there's some essential oil recommendations in there for you, as well as a couple other things that have really, really been beneficial. Like I said, these are the short-term, immediate relief kind of things you can do to help with your symptoms that come up. And then we'll be talking in a couple weeks about some long-term things that you can do to really help prevent those from being a thing and to help your cycles progressively get better and better so you don't have to dread them every month. So take care, friends. I will talk to you soon. Cheers.